again to another video of my channel. First of all, I want to thank all my subscribers and all the people who have been watching my video. A big thank you. I am really grateful to you guys because amazing support you guys been giving me. I really appreciate it. That being said, guys, if you want to really comment anything regardless of whatever it is, let it be criticism, let it be an appreciation, or be any questions or queries, just type it on the comments below and I will get back to you. If it's a question or if it's an appreciation, thank you so much. Well, if it's a criticism, for sure I will accept it and then probably work on it. Just let me know frankly, you suck at those two things, you should have done that, probably you should do this. Give me all the tips. I'm not a pro here, I'm learning, so all good. So guys, please do comment. And also guys, if you do genuinely like the video, please do not hesitate to hit the thumbs up button. And also, if you feel this video is worth it, please do share it with your friends. Alright, so I am not much of a scenery going on back here because I'm in my truck right now, and currently I am in I'm in Georgia. Yeah, I was listening to this song where it's a Justin Bieber song. He says I got something peaches in Georgia. Yeah, but yeah, I'm in Georgia and it is hot as hell and it is humid on top. To make it interesting, oh my god, it is super hot. It is 35 degrees right now, so I put my curtains around in the truck. I have to keep the truck running, so to cool myself down. I came here for a pickup. Today is Sunday, so I'm waiting for a load which is gonna be ready tomorrow. So here I've decided to make a video again. So today's topic, I believe, is the most anticipated topic for those people who have been thinking about getting into this profession of trucking, or they've been thinking, should they do the training, should they not, if it is worth or not. Hopefully this video today will help you guys out to make a proper decision. So today's video, I'll be talking the pros and cons of being a truck driver. Now I got some good time to make this video, sit back, relax, except for the heat, but that's fine. Also, I will be making a video in Malayalam simultaneously, കാരണം മലയാളത്തിലും കുറേ പേർക്ക് അറിയണമെന്നുണ്ട്. So I will be putting out a video in Malayalam simultaneously with this one, talking about the same stuff, pros and cons of a truck driver. Again, this video, that whatever I'm gonna say, the pros, the cons, the advantages, the disadvantages, it is all purely my perspective. It is what I have experienced in the last couple of years being a truck driver. What did I learn? What did I go through? How do I feel about it? So it's completely my viewpoint. Not necessarily have to align with somebody else's opinion. So guys, do not take this as the ultimate word. Just consider this as a part of your research if you are wondering if you want to get into trucking or not. So hopefully my viewpoints will help you guys in making the decision. Okay, also along with this video, I'll be talking about how much did I make as a truck driver in the last couple of years. I know it is the most awaited topic. People want to know how much do we make as a truck driver, because a lot of times people say go do driving trucks, go drive trucks, you can make a lot of money. Yes, I am not gonna completely disagree on that fact. Yes, you can make money, but there are a lot of things into it. Not many people do talk about it. So which I am gonna say again is from my viewpoint, a lot of good stuff and bad stuff. I don't think so I should say bad stuff. I should probably say the disadvantages, right? Okay, now no more further delay. I'm just gonna jump right into the topic. Okay, so the pros and cons of being a truck driver. Alright guys, do you want to hear the good stuff or the bad stuff? No, not the bad stuff again. The disadvantages. Right, so do you guys want to hear the good stuff or the disadvantages? You know what? I'll go for the good stuff first, okay? Then talk about the disadvantages later. Alright people, to begin with, the positive aspects, the good things, the advantages of a truck driver is, number one, quick, good money. Yes, like I previously said, you can make a pretty decent money from being a truck driver. Now, again, in a country like Canada, if a job is getting paid extra, which means there is a catch to it. Okay, now what catch am I talking about? I will talk about that in the disadvantage section. Again, if a job is being paid a lot, which means the demand is more and the supply is less, similar to jobs like being a mechanic, a plumber, a carpenter. All these jobs get paid quite a bit because there's not many people out there doing these kind of jobs. Again, good money. In what sense am I talking good money? I'm not comparing the money that you get in trucking with a CEO pay scale or a doctor's or an engineer's pay scale. No, I'm talking about the regular jobs, the entry level jobs or the desk jobs, the entry level desk jobs, or working at McDonald's, or working at a grocery store, that kind of job. Compared to all that kind of job, well, trucking pays quite a bit. Again, if you're someone who is sitting home, not sure what to do, need to make some extra set of money, for sure, man, go ahead. Trucking will pay you decent, good money. Okay, next point. Driving. Yes, if you are a person who loves driving, voila, this job is just made for you, man. Because what could be more better, right? You are driving, you're doing what you love, and you're getting paid for that, right? So it's a win-win situation. Why not, right? So if you're a person who loves driving, this is a good job for you. Now, driving, yeah, you are driving quite a lot. You will be driving all across Canada, North America, and sometimes even Mexico, depending on whatever company you work for. So you get to see a lot of different places. Yes, and on top of that, you get paid. Bonus point. So isn't that pretty amazing? You get to drive, you get to see different places, you get to travel, and on top of that, you get paid for all this, right? So that's a good advantage that I see as a part. That's a good advantage that I see being a truck driver. The other good thing about being a truck driver is you are pretty much your own boss. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, let's say if you're owner operator is the guy who owns his own truck. Now, if you're owner op, you completely decide when you want to go, because it's your truck. You got to pay the bills. If you don't want to go, don't go. If you want to go, go. Well and good. It doesn't really matter to the company. Now, if you're a company driver, it is kind of the same thing. Most of the time, let's say this is how it works. A dispatch of a company gives you a pickup location and a pickup time, and a delivery location and a delivery time. All what you need to do is make these appointments, do the load, do everything on time. That's all what matters to the company. They don't care what you are doing in between. You sleep, you go out, have fun, whatever it is, they don't care. As long as you pick up the load on time and deliver it on time, they are good. Not like any other job where someone's kind of behind you, kind of keeping on nagging you, what are you doing, what's going on, none of that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm trying to say. You are your own boss. Also, most of the time, compared to other jobs, you don't have to pre-plan your days off. What happens is, let's say you go for a trip, you come back, and then you're like, what, I need a couple of days off. Just tell the dispatch, what, I'm going to stay home for a couple of days. Yes, it's a loss for the company, but usually if you're a good employee, they let you stay home for a couple of days. So that's a good thing, right? Not like other jobs where you have to look at the calendar, book days off months before. You don't need to do that. So that kind of gives you the extra leverage. Okay, next thing that I want to say is what I learned being a truck driver is some good driving etiquettes. Now, etiquettes, what I'm talking about is there's quite a few that I did learn being a truck driver. One of the important thing is, let's say on a highway, you want to change lanes, you want to shift lanes, and the guy behind you lets you in, so which is good, right? So the guy was nice enough, or is nice enough to let you in front of him. So obviously you want to say thank you to him. So there, apparently on the truck, on the steering column, there is a switch that has been integrated purely for this purpose, just to say thank you. It's called Markalize. As soon as when you tap on it, the tail lights kind of blink, saying, which means it says thank you for letting me in. So that's kind of a way to say thank you. So that is something pretty neat. There are a lot of people who are driving cars also usually do that. They kind of wave their hands or whatever, but I kind of learned this whole thing in trucking. Now another couple of things is since these trucks are pretty huge, pretty big, and they weigh quite a bit, about 40 tons or 80,000 pounds, it takes a while to accelerate, during traffic, let's say. And you know what happens in traffic, right? People keep on switching lanes. So most of the time the truck drivers, they let people in front of him, most of the times, unless you're not being a douche trying to cut him off. But if you put your blinkers on, he kind of lets you in. So that kind of teaches you to be a more of a patient driver. So that's a good thing that I learned. The other thing is, now sitting in a truck, you're sitting up pretty high, so you get a pretty good vantage point. Now if you're going on a highway at about 100 kilometers per hour or 65 miles an hour, whatever it is, you see ahead, the traffic is coming to a standstill, or there's traffic ahead. So what usually truck drivers do is they put their four-way flashes on, or the hazard sign on. So that kind of gives a warning to the people coming behind, giving them a heads up. Slow down, be careful, there's something going on ahead, I'm slowing down too. So that's a good thing to kind of give people behind a heads up. So that's another good thing that I did learn. And the other thing that I did learn was, let's say you guys might have seen cars broken down or having a flat tire on a highway. They've been pulled out on the side, on the curb of a highway, on the side, whatever it is. So as truck drivers, what we usually do is we shift lanes, because this whole truck is so huge. Going zipping past them at 100 kilometers per hour, that is a little sketchy and dangerous. So we usually tend to shift lanes, and which is even good for those guys too. So that's a good character or a good attitude that I did learn, which I usually do when I'm driving cars too. If you see a broken down car on the side of the highway, try to shift lanes whenever it is safe, so that you keep them a good enough room. So these are quite a few of a good driving etiquettes that I did learn being a truck driver. Okay, getting paid. Yes. So being a truck driver, you can set up your own incorporation. Now mostly it's business enterprises that have their own incorporation. Now what do I mean by incorporation? If you have set up your own incorporation, what happens is you get paid the full amount. So there's it's not like being on a payroll. So you get paid the full amount, and then keep in mind you gotta pay taxes at the end of the year. But the advantage here is that you can write off so much expenses that your taxes ultimately becomes pretty less compared to that being on a payroll. But then the advantage of being a payroll is you get the benefits. So if benefits is of prime importance or priority, then yeah, for sure you can stick on to payroll. But if you're young, healthy, you want to make the extra money, you can easily set up this incorporation and take get the whole get paid the whole amount, and then write off your taxes later. The other good thing that I want to say is you are driving most of the time. In US, you'll be driving for almost 11 hours, and in Canada it's about 13 hours. So pretty much half of the day you're driving. So what I want to say is you get a lot of time. You get a lot of time for yourself. Now that being said, I will be making another video about the rules and regulations, about how long can a driver drive, how long is he supposed to take time off, and all that kind of stuff. I'll make another video. But anyways, coming back to the point, so you have so much time for yourself. That's what I like. You can think about your future. You can think what you're going to do tomorrow. You can plan so much stuff. You can listen to good podcast, gain knowledge. So there's a lot of time, and also you can probably reconnect with all the past friends that who has been trying to get a hold of you, but you've been busy with your life. So that's another good thing. The last point what I want to add, which happens to be my favorite point, is For me, as a driver coming out of Canada, when we go to the States, spend some time in the States, and then when I go back, there at the border, we have something called the duty-free shops. So at these shops, you get alcohol and tobacco for a pretty cheap price compared to your local liquor store. Uh, there are sometimes you could even get it at half the price. So if anyone is watching the video and who is driving and who's not aware of this, please do stop at the duty free. Go check it out. The prices are amazing. Even if you don't drink or if you don't smoke, get some for your friends. They will be grateful because the prices are pretty cheap. Okay, these are the advantages that had come into my mind. I cannot think of anything else. Let's get into the downside, the negative sides of being a truck driver. First of all, expensive training. Yes, the training these days are expensive. When I did my training back in 2015, the training costed me about $2,000, but nowadays it might cost you around anywhere between $7,000 to $10,000. That being said, there are some cheap schools providing training for about $5,000. That's also there, but still, spending $5,000, and each time you go do a test, if you fail, each time you repeat the test, you need to pay some extra money for that. So all this are added expenses. Now, for someone who is doing a minimum wage job, spending almost $5,000 is a little too expensive. But guys, keep in mind, this is an investment, because eventually you will make the money. Give it like a month or two, you will make the money back. Alright, second point, the first year. For a new guy just finished his training, pretty new in the industry, it is pretty hard to get a job, because most of the companies, they ask for experience. And why do they ask for experience? Because their insurance companies demand experience. So the more experienced you are, the less chances of you making an accident, right? So that's why the insurance company asks for at least 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, I don't know, depending on the job that you're applying for. So the first year happens to be a struggle usually, and because of this, there are so many other big companies, they do hire new guys, but then they put you on a contract, and they kind of manipulate the whole situation and pay you pretty bad wages. So yeah, that happens. But I would say probably go work for a smaller company, even though the pay is less, but then you don't have a contract, and later on, if you find a good opportunity, you can move whenever you want. So guys, the first year might be a struggle, but don't give up. It's gonna be fruitful from the next year onwards, because once you get your experience, you can demand the pay and the schedule you want. Again, it all depends on your experience. Now, the biggest disadvantage of being a truck driver is this whole profession is a risky business, man, because you're driving continuously for about 11 or 13 hours. You gotta be paying attention for that entire 11, 13 hours, however long you're driving, and you are on road for weeks, man. So that causes boredom, and you can get distracted, and then you got all kind of crazy drivers on the road doing crazy stuff. So it is a risky business, I have to say. Also, the weather conditions might change. So summer is not too bad, but winter, all of a sudden you get this freezing rain, ice, snow, whatever. It is pretty hard driving a big rig which weighs about 80,000 pounds or 40,000 kilos, on snow, on those kind of conditions. If you have any other job, you can just stay home, just don't go for work, right? But now, being a truck driver, if you're on the road, you're kind of stuck. So it is a big risky business, is what I think is its biggest disadvantage. Again, most of the time you spend driving, so you are in this position, sitting and driving for a long time. Not much of a physical exercise happens unless you really keep separate time for it, which most of the time people do. But then down the lane you get tired. They're like, you drive, the next thing what you want to do is just go and sleep. So not much of a physical activity going on. Even for me, I haven't been doing much, but then now I got some stuff here to work out. I got some push-up bars, and I got a resistant band, things like that. Hopefully I make use of them. Since you have a big truck, you have no it's pretty hard to drive into a good restaurant, so a good food is pretty much compromised for a truck driver. And any truck stop that you go to, 95% of the time you can find only junk food there. So junk food which happens to be easily available, and then you can just keep on driving and then eat, so you can do two things at the same time. So most of the people do end up eating all this junk food. Okay, the other downside is sometimes you gotta change your driving pattern to make the appointment. Sometimes you gotta drive during the day and sometimes during the night, so that kind of creates fatigue. And you don't want to be tired driving this big rig on a highway, because it is a death machine if you are fatigued. Any tickets associated with trucking, like any cop pulls you over for whatever mistake that you've done, or you get pulled over at an inspection station for whatever thing is broken on the trucker, which happens to be your responsibility, anything. So tickets, most of the tickets associated with trucking happens to be a little expensive, at least about $100. I myself have paid thousands of dollars in tickets in the beginning stage, so tickets are expensive. Like I said, a truck driver makes money only when the wheel spins. So you gotta keep the wheel spinning. If you're staying home, you're not making money. So most of the drivers, if you're in this profession, they want to make money, so they spend very less time at home. So it is kind of hard for someone who has a good it's hard for someone who wants to keep a good social life, have the weekends off, that kind of stuff. It's hard because, like I said, if you go for a trip, then you need to complete the whole trip and then come back. There are times when you get delayed and then you're not able to make it on the weekend. Unfortunately, it happens. So it's hard, and especially for someone with family and kids, I think it is a bit more challenging than a single person, for sure. Anyone single out there, go ahead, drive as much as you can and make all the money you can. So I think it's a bit challenging for family people, but there are people who have been maintaining both the lives and have been driving for a long time, no problem. And again, your life is pretty much secluded in this truck. There are people who drive in a team. It's mostly husband and wife or friends. But apart from that, you don't want to be driving with a stranger, because this truck is so small, and then you don't want to be sharing this space with a different person. You don't know how clean he is, so that kind of creates a problem too. So I don't prefer that. That's why I drive by myself. So again, you are by yourself, man. One last thing I want to add is good access or easy access to good washrooms. Yes, if you do go fill up gas at certain gas stations, you get access to good shower facilities, but not all the time, right? Who knows when the nature is going to call. And if you want to make a quick stop, 50% of the time, you're not going to get a good washroom. It's public washroom, so literally everyone goes there and then makes a big mess and then doesn't even care about it because it's a public washroom. So access to a good washroom kind of sometimes turns out to be a problem. But then if you plan all the washroom breaks, then probably would not be a problem. Anyways, so these are the disadvantages that came into my mind. Now let me tell you how much did I make as a truck driver. Okay, so back in 2015 when I started driving trucks, they put me in a team because I did not know much about trucking. As a team driver, I was making about 18 cents. That's what I started off with, and then I ended up with about 24 cents in a span of 6 months. Anyways, so I made about $3,000 after taxes. I was working on payroll, so I made $3,000 after taxes, which was pretty good money. I was living in Winnipeg. It was not an expensive city. $3,000 after taxes, so it was a good money. The next job that I did was a flat deck driver. So a flat deck driver, a lot of labor is involved. You need to jump on back of the deck. You need to tie down stuff. You need to put chains and whatnot. So there's so much labor involved. So the pay was a little extra compared to the van job. So this was in 2016. I was getting paid 46 cents, and I had an incorporation at the time, so I used to get paid the whole amount. So I was getting paid. I was averaging about $6,500 a month. Again, keep in mind, 6 times 12, 72,000. You're not taking home the entire 72,000. At the end of the year, you need to pay your taxes. Yes, don't forget the taxes. But yeah, you can, if you have a smart accountant, and you can write off all the expenses and reduce your taxes too. So 6,500 is what I made. And the last job when I restarted trucking in the year 2020, I was doing dry vans, which was easy job. I was getting paid about 65 cents, and I used to average about anywhere between $5,000 to $8,000. Yeah, like I said, if the wheels are spinning, you're making money. If you're sitting home, you're not. There was a month when I went pretty crazy. I worked about 25 days. Yeah, 26 days. I took about 3 or 4 days. I just stayed home. That's about it. And the rest of the time I was driving, and I made about $9,000. The money was good, but it did take a big toll on me mentally, physically, and emotionally, because being on the road for like 25 days, it makes you go crazy. Yeah, it's not easy. So this is what I made in my last job. So I would say comparatively, it is a good paying profession. Now, why it's getting paid so much? Like I said, you got to stay away from home. Not many people want to stay away from home. And that being said, there are so many people who jump into this profession thinking, no, it's a money-making profession. That's it. It's easy peasy. They spend about $6,000 getting trained, and then once finally they get the job, they're sitting behind the wheels of a big semi truck. That's when they know the real deal. For example, let's say you're driving on a highway. You're gonna do a delivery. Let's say you end up making a wrong turn, and then you end up in a neighborhood. And if you make wrong turns on the semi, it's a pain. Yeah, there are so many chances that you can. There are so many possibilities that you can get stuck, and then not good. Yeah, there was one time I got stuck in a neighborhood, and ahead of me was a low bridge, so obviously I cannot cross that. Behind me I had the neighborhood, I had the traffic. It was a bad situation. So these are the times when people lose it, and they get so scared, and they give up trucking. So again, if you ask me, would I suggest trucking? Yes, I definitely would suggest trucking if you are someone who does not have an extra set of skills and are not sure what to do in life, but then you want to make the extra money and get a jump start in life. Then sure, man, go ahead, go for it. But like I said, keep it in mind, this is not an easy job. It demands physically, emotionally, and mentally. Yeah, it is a demanding profession. So guys, I believe I have touched most of the points that I really did want to talk about. Again, like I said, this is purely my perspective based on my experience. There are different people talking different stuff about trucking. Some people like it, some people don't. Guys, it's all up to you. It's your perspective. Do your research and then decide if you want to do it or not. So guys, I really hope you guys did like the video. If you did genuinely like the video, please do not hesitate to hit the like button. At the same time, I hope you guys found it helpful and informative. If you did so, please share it with your friends, and do not forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more informative topics like this. And also guys, please do not hesitate to type anything in the comment section below. I will get back to you on that. Also, let me know, how did this whole video go? Was it informative, was it helpful, or was it completely garbage? Please type it down in the comment section below. Until next time, I'll see you guys. Take care from